Jonah Falcon, he's 54. His penis, because that's what everybody wants to know.
Yeah.
Flaccid is...
It's pretty good.
Inappropriate with Jim and Steve.
Welcome back, friends. I'm Jim.
I'm Steve.
And together we are Baltimore's best podcast, a.k.a. Inappropriate with Jim and Steve.
Hello, everyone.
If you were riding in your car or playing this out loud and there are children, this would not be the episode in which you have young ears.
Yes, you may want to lock yourself in a bathroom. I found out something today.
Okay.
It's going to hurt your soul.
Oh.
And I was just
thanks for saving this for me till we guys get on the air.
It may bring down the whole friggin' episode. You have been the biggest George Michael fan I know.
Have I?
Okay. Yeah, just for the sake of argument.
I mean, I do
Did you
enjoy
like Faith?
I do enjoy a men's bathroom.
And I had to really talk you down from Careless Whisper.
That's true. So maybe I'm a closet George Michael fan.
So, do you remember one of the infamous things that George Michael did in his career?
Yeah, road truck stop bathroom.
Yes.
Or was it airport bathroom?
It was a bathroom.
Okay.
So he got caught in a bathroom. I don't know if he was receiving or giving, but he was caught in a bathroom and then basically had to come out and say he was a homosexual. But the bathroom that he did such act has gotten a makeover.
Oh.
So it's no longer distinguishable from the years that George Michael went in there and did his act.
Do you know what year that was? Because I do remember that, but I only remember George Michael as gay.
Okay.
Like even I think in Wham, he was in Wham.
I know.
And when you look back, you could have said that guy's gay.
Well, it's like the time he was famous, it was kind of like that look where everyone kind of...
There was
like
a crossover.
The males kind of look feminine, kind of.
Yeah, it was a very feminine era.
Like Motley Crue kind of wore makeup and stuff.
Yeah,
so,
they did it more as a gimmick, where I feel like George Michael, his look was like he was the original metrosexual.
Yes, I'm on board with you. Like I always was like, oh, George Michael is the gay singer. So,
right.
So, but Will Rogers Memorial Park bathrooms, where he did his act in what year do you want to guess? Do you want to guess the year?
93.
98.
Oh, okay.
So it actually was a lot. I thought I would think more towards the same frame.
And what state is that from?
Off of Rodeo Drive in LA.
Okay.
So
a lot of dick sucking going on Rodeo Drive.
Yeah. So it became like one of the places
Central hubs.
People would go to the Will Rogers Memorial Park and go visit the bathroom where George Michael was blowing people or receiving it.
At that point, he was undercover. Or in the closet. I think, yeah, that's what the kids say.
Yeah.
If you are an in the closet gay guy, I don't think you are receiving. I think you're giving.
I think you're right. So if you are, because remember The Sopranos? Remember when Vito got found out for being gay?
No.
Oh, well, spoiler alert. Vito gets found, but he was blowing a guy in the parking lot. So,
and that seems like the natural course. Like, if you're gay, you can get a blowjob, close your eyes, and imagine it's a dude. Do you know what I mean? Even if it's from a woman.
Gonna go the other way.
You can't give a guy a blowjob and think that you're giving a woman a blow. Well, actually, now you can. I don't know. Now everyone's giving everyone blowjobs.
Yeah. On the 27th anniversary of the infamous day that happened, they demolished the bathrooms.
That is poetic.
Yeah. So George, I think he died. I think he's dead.
Did he die from AIDS?
I think so.
Or a complication thereof?
Yeah, but Sorry,
I mean, who
buddy.
would have thought the guy that put this banger out was gay?
I mean, when somebody going, how could he have ever been gay?
He was gagging on pubes then. I mean, this is a good song.
George Michael has a lot of good songs.
This is classic 80s.
Yeah.
All right.
But, yep. Sorry, Jim. The bathroom's demolished.
You know, I was trying to make my way out to Cali.
Yeah, I remember because when we went for my bachelor party to California, you kept wanting to go by there, and we didn't have enough time.
I think I wanted to go in there. I'm sure there's just plenty of glory holes. I want to play whack-a-mole as I'm taking a shit.
I spit my water out. But yeah. R.I.P. bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, there's that. This is an anti-transition. So I bought tickets to Country Calling, and everybody, I've been trying to talk Steve.
You've been sending me text messages about
because last year, and I think last year was the first year. So last year, Steve had a little FOMO on the good time that we had. It wasn't necessarily that he missed the concerts and the bands that he wanted to see,
Yes.
but it's just a fun day with great people.
Yeah.
So we're just going Saturday, because last year the 2-day festival really put a hurting on us.
I looked up the lineup for Saturday, and I didn't know. I think I knew the headliner, whoever the headliner is.
Luke Bryan is the headliner.
Yeah, so I knew him, but then all the others. The one band that you wanted to see,
Treaty Oak Revival.
yeah, it was funny at work. I was telling one of my coworkers that I was like, yeah, I'm thinking about going to this country call-in thing. He's like, oh, I really want to see that same band. I was like, that's the band Jim wants to see. So
I've been trying to find tickets to that band for a year and a half, and they're on the cusp of like, they're still playing their tour dates of smaller venues, but they've blown up. So the tickets, like, if you want to go see them in a club atmosphere, you're paying like $300, $400,
yeah.
and it's like I ain't doing that. You know, like, they're great, but
yeah, not $300.
not $300, and plus they're out of state, so I'm probably flying out of state. You know, I'd make a weekend of it, but it's still it's like,
that's a big commitment.
Yeah. So I was excited to see them, and then they were just like, hey, let's do Saturday only. I was like, that's fine. And Luke Bryan, I've seen Luke Bryan probably half dozen times. Like, so I don't really care. Like, I think he puts on a fun show, but there's nothing that I really want to see with Luke Bryan. It's just going for a full day to see Treaty Oak Revival is still cheaper than going to see Treaty Oak Revival 6 months ago.
Yeah. So I'm sure it's sold out now.
No.
It's not sold out?
No, I think you can still get 1 day tickets there.
And how much is a 1 day ticket?
$180.
God, I'm gonna have to convince myself. All right, well, that's to be determined.
I tried, everybody. If anybody else is going, I would love to meet up with any of our
You got
listeners.
an inappropriate meetup there.
Yes, that would be cool. Steve, I got a couple things to talk about that. It's hard to feel sorry for some people, Steve. It's almost like the millionaire who always complains that money isn't, you can't buy happiness.
Yeah,
Right.
That bullshit adage. Yes.
Yeah, it's hard to take this next guy and feel bad for him. Man with the world's largest penis has claimed it stopped him from pursuing his dream job. So,
Fuck off.
right, whatever you're about to say, motherfucker, get the fuck out of here.
If your tag under your name is man with world's largest penis,
You get no sympathy.
yeah, you get no sympathy.
I don't give a
from
fuck
me.
if you're living in a ditch.
God. I can only imagine what he wants to be. It's got to be like a fucking lifeguard. I feel like he could probably swim faster. It's like, how the boats have those, like, the thing, like your surfboards have those things.
rudders.
Underneath. Yeah, he probably swims fast as shit.
I don't know. Maybe it slows. Maybe it's just drag.
Yeah.
And he has a fucking cool last name. His name is Jonah Falcon.
Oh.
Like, dude, you were
This
just born for
fucking
porn.
guy, I know this fucking guy. Dude, he used to have an all-access show in New York where he would talk about the fucking New York Yankees all the time.
Is it this guy? He is a New Yorker.
Yeah, he had it. Yep, that's well. He looks different than
now
when he did that show. So
this guy, okay, if I were to describe, if this guy showed up at your house carrying a pizza and said, "Here are your orders," like you would go, "Okay, that's what this guy looks like."
he kind of reminds me of the guy who played the Hobbit.
No, but he kind of reminds me of not the main characters, but this guy would be a character on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah, he kind of has that like Charlie scruffy look.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. The story goes, Jonah Falcon, he's 54. His penis, because that's what everybody wants to know.
Yeah.
Flaccid is 8 inches.
It's pretty good.
And a whopping 13 and a half inches. Like, did we have to say half at that point? When erect. And it
Like
is
at that point, you can just round up. It's not going to hurt my feelings.
round down. Shit.
Yeah.
End is thicker, apparently, than his wrist.
That's fucking big.
Yes. And that is...
It's got a torpedo bat.
That is novelty big.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't... 99.9% of women do not want anything to do with that.
Yeah.
And I'm a guy, but I can speak for all women here and say that they do not want anything close to that.
Yeah. It's intimidating, probably.
Everybody might want to look at it
Yes.
just for the sheer like sideshow freak nature
Yes.
of it all. But I can't imagine women or gay men thinking that's it.
Yeah.
Like that's what I want ramming me for the rest of my life. Like spilling my guts.
pizza delivery looking fucking guy.
Right, like his dick probably weighs as much as he does. Like, you know,
Yeah.
he's all skin, bones, and dick. So apparently, and here's where I guess it kind of gets interesting. Apparently, he has slept with a few A-list celebrities. Quote, I've slept with celebrities, including Oscar nominees and Oscar winners, but I can't talk about that.
God, instantly that makes me dislike the guy.
I get like Oscar nominee, Oscar winner would imply an A-list, style celebrity, and that's so I get that, and it does narrow things down slightly, but not much. It goes on to say, I can't even say if it was men or women. So the dude is willing to swing the bat at anything. I don't want to narrow it down too far. I can only say it wasn't Meryl Streep.
But so Meryl Streep's won like 4 Oscars. So then you're like, Oscars have been around for like 100 years. So you can knock out like, you could probably figure this out if you really
narrow the list down to maybe a
10.
Yeah,
maybe.
yep.
Yeah, you could probably.
Falcon has complained about the same things that people want him to do with it, such as measure it in front of them. He says, which can get annoying, but above all, his dream career has been taken away from him. Despite receiving offers to be part of the adult industry, he has turned them down over the years in favor of an acting career. More specifically, in TV shows and feature-length films. But the attention he has received from his penis size has stopped him from being cast.
What?
He claims that when directors and producers look him up online, they just see articles and videos about his manhood and are instantly turned off from hiring him.
So he can't be an actor because he has a big dick.
His dick precedes him. Even though he is against getting into porn, Falcon has admitted that he has been offered money for pictures of his penis and sex with people who are interested. The American claims that he has accepted $500 to pose in his underwear for some snaps for women, and that another paid $1,000 to have sex with him. He said they feed his ego. Unfortunately, he says he also has to wear baggy pants or pleated pants to go incognito. I think that's the worst part of it all, that he has to wear pleated pants.
Yeah, I don't think people wear pleated pants.
Nobody wears pleated. That's a dead giveaway right there.
Yeah.
It hasn't stopped growing either.
What?
And for some reason, it's gotten thicker to the point that I can't even receive oral sex. And intercourse requires a very, very slow entry.
Oh, tough life for that guy.
And here is the kicker. It's also been increasingly harder to get absolutely fully erect.
Yeah, because he's about to die from blood loss.
Oh, yeah, he would just pass out.
Yeah.
All the blood would go to his dick and he'd just pass out.
Because it keeps growing.
Because it keeps growing.
It keeps growing.
So
One day, he's just going to be dick.
he's just all dick and feet.
It's just,
But that would be frustrating. Just thinking in a marriage, you can never have sex. Like,
Yeah.
you're only getting hand
yeah,
jobs.
yeah.
Right?
It's like a special treat.
Your wife's right arm is nothing muscular shit. Yeah, actually, you know what? I do feel sorry for that dude.
Yeah, all right. I kind of feel sorry for him.
Like if it came out and he was just had like packing like a massive 9-incher, I would go, fuck you.
Yeah.
But 13 and a half, that's
That 4 inches makes a big deal.
wow. You're telling me.
And plus that it's fucking the circumference of like
A baby's head.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, it's just yeah. Oh, fuck that. Fucking.
What do we got next, Steve?
So, moving on from a man with a massive, massive penis, I have a story about a woman who was born with 2 vaginas.
Oh, maybe one of those could fit this guy's massive penis. We should hook them up.
She talks about how men react when they find out that she has 2 vaginas. So her name is Anne Charlotte. She was born with uterus diphilius, which means she has 2 vaginas, 2 uteruses, 2 cervixes, and an ovary on each side. So it's like the bullhorn double.
Just split.
It's just extended out to 2.
Wow. So here is my initial question for that.
Uh-huh.
Could she be pregnant from 2 different guys at once?
I mean,
In theory, it's,
theoretically, yes, she could.
she could have twins
that look nothing alike. Yeah.
from 2 different dudes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, as a result of this, Annie has had struggle in the dating department because what do you think happens when guys hear about it?
I mean, it's hard enough to find 1 G spot. How are you going to find 2?
They tend to fetishize about her condition. My 2 vaginas sexualize my relationships a lot because I let people know quite early, or they see my Instagram, my relationships start quite sexual. I feel like because of my condition, the first thing that is spoken about is sex. And sometimes I want them to get to know me, not my vaginas.
This is her fault. Not having 2 vaginas. And I don't know what this lady looks like. I never looked at her Instagrams. I'd never heard of her until just now. Okay, so she's attractive. She looks like she's about 20, maybe late 20s.
Yeah, I would say that.
She has artificially dyed reddish orange hair. Nice tan.
She's 26.
What you're saying there is that most guys, because of her Instagram, so she's putting that out there. Like she's riding those vagina lips to
All 4 of them.
she's riding all 4 vagina lips to celebrity status.
Yes.
So how about you just don't put that out there?
That is true.
It's crazy. It's a novel idea.
Yes.
If you don't want people to see you as a sexual object, maybe just don't let that known to the world right away before they get to know you.
Yeah. And I think her profession also.
Oh, she's an OnlyFans model?
Yeah.
I'm wondering why.
I feel like her complaints aren't valid because
she's sexualizing herself.
yes. So she says a lot of guys I dated think that I'm in love with the men I film with. I also feel like my partners always compare themselves to the person I'm shooting with, and then they continue to judge me for enjoying it.
Good for her for making, like, that's what she wants to do, make money. But like, you can't have both sides of the
Correct.
coin.
That's how I feel. Like you can't go into this. You can't go into it being an OnlyFans model that has, you're basically a porn star.
Sure.
She's using her not novelty, but she's using her 2 vaginas as a wow factor and getting people
her uniqueness.
Guys in nature are just gonna gravitate towards that thing because you're comfortable on film with it, so you might as well fucking talk about it.
You know what? If I was dating her and she didn't tell me, I probably wouldn't even know.
You're just glad you found one.
I'd be 2 years in before I fucking was like, wait a minute, what do you got down here? Speaking of OnlyFans, and here's taking things too far, Steve. This next one, which I'm gonna preface this by saying, sometimes there's not a happy ending in our stories. Okay, yeah. And this is kind of new to me, which I feel like this is normally years ago I would have known about this. If you would have said, hey, have you ever heard of these? I'd be like, yeah, because I've heard of all the weird internet shit.
Uh-huh.
Maybe I'm just getting old.
Just slipping.
Yeah, technology is slipping, and like I'm just not up to date. I'm not hip. But have you ever heard of Porta Potty Parties?
No, I have never heard of that.
Okay, so you are getting old like me, or we just don't have enough money, Steve.
I mean, Porta Potty money. I mean, Porta Potty. God, you can't even fucking say it. Porta Potty parties do not sound like something for the rich and the rich.
One might think.
Yes.
So maybe that's why we have never heard of them.
Don't travel in that circle.
An OnlyFans model was contacted online, and she was invited to partake in a porta potty party. It goes on to explain that the rich and powerful hire a young, attractive woman. I guess maybe now it's easier to find with OnlyFans. Mm-hmm. And their lavish parties in Dubai. And
Dubai.
What they do, because they are typically organized from a company called Cinderella Escorts. And billionaires and millionaires party, and they get drunk. And the models that they hire are porta potties.
Oh, that did not go the way I thought it was going to go.
Right. They piss, shit, rip off her clothes, whatever they want to do. Basically, they are like almost inhuman.
Fucking Vince McMahon had it.
Yeah, in a way. And because I guess the fact that these women get so much money to do this,
yeah,
they endure the abuse at these parties, and the men is it just shitting and pissing? Whatever they want to do, sex acts on women. So I'm sure they're doing whatever.
It's basically fucked.
Yeah, I mean, if you can imagine, if you're hiring someone to do this sort of shit, you're probably past the stage of like your typical escort.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like these guys are so power hungry that I feel like that they're way beyond the normal S&M.
They are one step away from the movie Hostel, like paying to murder someone.
Yeah, in a way, yeah. Yeah. The Cinderella escorts said that sometimes the guests at parties can get out of hand. A spokesman said, yes, but very rare. Of course, it's rare. We had a sheik being rude to girls, and a businessman get angry with one, and then he poured some alcohol over her and slapped her. This article doesn't get super graphic, but you can read between the lines.
Yeah.
This particular woman, her name is, she's a Ukrainian OnlyFans model, Maria Kovalchuk. And you can describe her.
If you were to picture a blonde woman from Ukraine
yep.
with lip fillers.
Yep, blonde hair, blue eyes.
She looks like the standard.
Yeah, her lips are sort of way too big for to be natural. If you said she's an OnlyFans model, I got it. Right?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The issue is she was found on the side of the road with a broken spine. And it's been sort of covered up by saying that she was so drunk that she went to, there was a construction site nearby, and she must have walked up the construction site and then fell off of the second floor, third floor.
That is the biggest bunch of bullshit I've ever heard.
Yeah, so she is in the hospital, and she's unable
This
to.
all of a sudden went down.
Well, that's the only way that, or the reason that these parties have became exposed because of she's now in the hospital and she came from this party.
Yeah, because it is like you said, like people get fucking aggressive, so they're the person that poured the drink and slapped the person. They're getting beat up and things like that. So
right, and so it looks as if though she's going to live, but she has a very, very long road ahead of her.
To have that much wealth and then that's what you want to do, I guess nothing like they're just trying to get
Yeah, it's taken all these guys who were like simps in high school or what are they called? Incels?
Yes, incels.
And then giving a guy that has anger towards the entire world and giving him power and money and expecting him to then all of a sudden not be who he is.
Yeah, like he has all this hatred for women and then he has all the money in the world and can do whatever he wants.
Right. And then now he sees all the women flocking to him, which makes him more angry because there's like, you whores, like, where have you been? You know what I mean?
These fucking sluts
right.
that got it coming.
and then they do this weird dumb shit.
If I was like this wealthy to where I could afford to do something like something like this, I would just want to be like to all like my friends and be like, hey, you guys want to go to Nashville this weekend? I'm buying. Like, right. You know what I mean? Like.
But I think we're thinking of what we would do because we don't have that luxury.
Yeah, we're at the bottom.
But let's say you do that for a couple years, and then it's like, that's not cool. So then you go to the next thing, right? Then you're going to Vegas, right? Yeah. That's not cool. Then let's go bang a lady boy in Bangkok, right? Because like you need more.
Yeah,
and then
I guess I can see where it's. And then
eventually
then all of a sudden you're shitting and pissing on people, throwing them out fucking windows.
Right. It's a slippery slope, Steve.
Maybe money doesn't buy happiness.
I think we're going to end it there, Steve, because this was that's all I can handle. I'm filled up with whatever the hell that just was.
Oh yeah, I mean, just think of the thing we learned about pissing and shitting on people, big cocks and 2 vaginas. What other fucking podcast can give you this?
All right, everybody, thanks for hanging out. If you are not disgusted, maybe come back next week and we will come back at you straight out the Porta Potties. I'm Jim.
I'm Steve.
See you next week.